What if grief did not fade with time, but instead learned how to speak back to you? What if art was not meant to be admired, but to be entered? Assalamualaikum, good morning, and a very good day to everyone. Before I start with my talk, let me introduce myself. My name is QALEESYA BINTI IRAWAN, and I am from SMK SERI Tangkak. I currently serve as a school librarian and as a vice president in my extra curriculum, a role that has strengthened my passion for reading and sharing meaningful stories with others. Today, I would like to present a book talk on a novel titled Revenge in Violent Hues, written by Nadia Zakaria. This novel is a dark fantasy that blends with supernatural with emotional realism, creating a story that is both haunting and deeply human. At the heart of the novel is Amalia Maganti, a young woman whose life was permanently altered by a mysterious death of her father 6 years ago. Since that tragedy, Amalia has developed an unsettling ability. She can see and communicate with the dead. That gift is not portrayed as something glamorous, but as a burden, constantly reminding her of unsolved loss and unanswered questions. The turning point of the story occurs on Amalia's 18th birthday, when she discovers that her father's paintings are far more than realistic aspirations. They are portals, gateway into a hidden realm known as Gemerlapan. This world exists beneath reality, reflecting a distorted version of 1990s Alostar, where shadow feels alive and the past refuses to stay buried. As Amalia stepped into Gemerlapan, she encountered Citra Buana, a secret academy where selected individuals are trained to manipulate spirits and weaponize the dead. Here, death is not the end, but a resource, a concept that immediately challenges moral boundaries and forces the reader to question how far one should go in a pursuit of power and truth. With the academy, Amalia begins to realize her father's death was not an accident. Each lesson she learns, each spirit she encounters, pulls her closer to a conspiracy that has been carefully hidden from her. The novel slowly transforms from a tale of discovery into one of the reckoning and revenge. Amalia is not alone in her journey. She is accompanied by a cast of enigmatic figures, including a secretive mentor, a were-tiger, and a disturbing voice that exists within her own mind. These companions blur the line between ally and threats, reinforcing one of the novel's central ideas that power rarely comes without consequences. One of the strongest aspects of Revenge in the Violent Hues is its exploration of revenge that is emotionally forced. The novel does not glorify vengeance. Instead, it presents it as something seductive yet destructive. Amalia's desire for justice understandable, but the reader is constantly reminded that revenge, if left unchecked, and consume one's identity. The novel also examines them of grief, inherited trauma, and self-discovery. Amalia's struggle is not only against external enemies, but against her own anger, fear, and desire for a closure. Her journey forced her to ask an important question. Is knowing the truth worth the cost of becoming someone she is no longer recognized? In conclusion, Revenge in Violent Hues is a powerful and imaginative novel that stands up for its emotional depth, rich world building, and moral complexity. Nadia Zakaria successfully weaves fantasy with local cultural elements, creating a story that feels both otherworldly and deeply personal. This novel is highly recommended for readers who enjoy dark fantasy, mysteries, and stories that challenge the idea of right and wrong. Thank you for your attention.